Greetings. I was inspired to take you all on a little walk with me as I leave my home in rural central Vermont and walk my morning walk on behalf of Girl Trek. I am sending this out to Black alum from GDS, Georgetown Day School, and from Mount Holyoke College. I was inspired because I didn't make it to the Thursday Zoom conversation, and I recognize that part of the reason I didn't make it is my lifestyle doesn't feel like it reflects on the challenge to excel of Mount Holyoke or on what I see as a pretty preparatory way of being at GDS. I was at GDS and would have been in the class of 1975. I spent 5. I spent 5 of my 12 K through 12th grade years at GDS, and I spent 2 years in West Africa as a child from the ages of 6 to 8. So kindergarten at GDS, 3rd and 4th grade at GDS, 7th and 8th grade at GDS, and then public high school. I am a Bohemian refugee from Negro land. In other words, my parents were artistic theater people. They had unusual lives in the 1940s, and I'm very, very happy that they sent me to the progressive school that GDS was when I went. I was raised pretty much an integrationist because of my GDS experience, and I didn't have a huge amount of class awareness until I got closer to college. I started to see class differences clearly when I was in Prince George's County, newly integrating middle-class Black professionals coming in to lower white middle-class neighborhoods with the redlining and the white flight happening, and Prince George's County becoming a pretty great place to live if you had to be in an integrated setting. And I say if you had to be in an integrated setting because despite having been raised an integrationist, I have to look back on my parents' choices and on my choices, as I am now a grandmother to 2, and recognize that I was sold a bill of goods about the American dream that isn't real. And I did my best as an individual, and I was very much an individual, to fight the system. And the system essentially brought me down. I did 22 years in conventional family medical practice, left conventional medical practice in 2005 under very difficult circumstances, and spent 18 months deciding whether I could stomach being back in that system again, and did everything right to be back in that system, but actually did that to the system. I was written up many times at Mount Holyoke. I was a perfect model magical Negro, and that was in the 1970s. As I said, I live in rural central Vermont. I am walking, a Black woman, on a dirt road, going to go to a trail because I have chutzpah. And I think that GDS helped me a lot. I thought I was going to school with white kids, and I realized I was mainly going to school with Jewish kids. And I call all of the less than Nordic first wave immigrant white Americans exotics. So I went to school with a lot of exotics, and I went to school with a lot of liberals, and I really must admire my parents because I am the generation of the terrorism of Emmett Till. Emmett Till was killed 65 years ago, and I'm 63. So my parents raised me in a time and in a place where to be young, gifted, and Black became particularly dangerous. We never went south. I did not go south with my family to cousins or extended family, we went to where we had greatly migrated to outside of Chicago in Evanston, Illinois. Maybe once in my entire life did my father take me to the eastern shore of Maryland where his family of origin were. So what I say is that basically I did not come on the call because I don't know who you all are as younger graduates. I am now retired. I am retired at 62 when I could. I have had a voluntarily simple lifestyle for 15 years. And a lot of that was out of great realizations about what America really was. I had been raised post-racial, as I said, but I recognize that this country has such a deep white supremacy angle that it's probably going to need to collapse before we go any further. And as I think I was saying, when I was at Mount Holyoke, I was a darling. It's a biochemistry major. I minored essentially in cultural anthropology, which was what you would call interdisciplinary studies these days, but we didn't have a name for that back in the 70s. I had an outstanding thesis advisor in cultural anthropology, Kay Warren. My womanist theory has been strong my entire life. How strong has it been? It has been so strong that when people ask me, which is worse, being black or being a woman? Being black or being a woman? Pre-Kimberly Crenshaw and her telling us about intersectionality, I had no hesitation. My life experience had let me see as a woman that I had more trouble as a woman than I had as a light-skinned, not quite passing the paper bag test female with hair that isn't considered good. There's dreadlocks up under here. All right. My 1975 GDS class had a Zoom 45th year reunion. I went to the first one. I recognized myself as the only woman of color returning. I remembered my 7th and 8th grade years as being particularly complicated by the class splitting in two that year, me coming in that split year, and a whole bunch of new kids. And I would say that my thesis is the GDS that I went to vanished in the 70s at least. It became a much preppier school. The black people who came were much more comfortable with just solid, good black middle class standards. I've never been one of those people. I'm queer. Queer meaning I'm bisexual by my sexual relationships, and polyamorous. Look it up if you don't know it, by my relationship styles. I don't like that word, queer, but in a post-racial, no, that's not possible, the U.S. has woken up and recognized we can't do that. We have to look at race. I also have to look at gender. So I am not post-gender, and I can't do all of the they, them, he, her, she, her, theirs reliably, because I need to refer to people's life experiences. And if you're born with a penis, certain things happen to you. I write about that a lot because I'm also an intactivist and very ashamed and guilty about the circumcisions I performed when I was a physician. And what else do I want to say about that? I think that's it. I just wanted to let you all know I'm thinking of you, that I have resources. I've done a Where There Is No Doctor, COVID-19 in the Cities video that I will link you to. I'm a writer. I wrote Awakening from Despair, an essay that was in a 52 essay volume maybe 10 years ago called Hope Beneath Our Feet. I wrote for Mount Holyoke several times, but when I wanted to write about failure, they did not want to hear from me. Having been a successful student, having returned as a Mary Lyons scholar. So here I am in my dream. It is in the country. I am very, very much a minority. I have my Social Security to live off of. I had a wonderful aunt who left me what for white people is a small amount of money, but for me was a huge amount of money. And I'm taking the last of it to build a community space that will be in a yurt on somebody else's land, modeling from Wally and Juanita Nelson in Western Massachusetts. So look them up. And again, this is me in 2020 with bioapocalypse all around and a feeling that the fall is going to be pretty awful.